At the dawn of the 21st century, a story originating from the Grand Canyon left the research community in awe. This fantastical and mysterious tale will continue to ignite the curiosity of countless generations to come. It's a story that unfolded in 1909, when the Phoenix Gazette published an article that stunned the world of archaeology. Researchers had made an astonishing discovery, hidden deep within the vast labyrinth of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon stands as the greatest canyon in the world, unmatched in width, depth, and length. This discovery hinted at a connection to one of the most ancient civilizations on Earth, the Egyptian civilization. According to the article, an expedition funded by the Smithsonian Institution, led by Professor Jordan, ventured into the most remote and inaccessible reaches of the Grand Canyon. This was in the Marble Canyon region, where they stumbled upon a series of caves that could forever alter humanity's understanding. These caves held evidence of the ancient Egyptian civilization. What mysteries lie buried within this majestic wonder, gifted to our planet by Mother Nature herself? Could the Grand Canyon explain the existence of and connection to an ancient civilization? Let's uncover the answers on today's journey of exploration. The enigma buried beneath this world wonder, the Grand Canyon, is about to be revealed. Take a moment to marvel at one of humanity's most magnificent natural wonders. Surely, the vast grandeur and uniquely striking colors of the Grand Canyon will make you feel as though you've stepped onto an alien planet, far removed from Earth. Amid an expansive plateau, the ground suddenly drops into a colossal, fathomless basin, carved with jagged cuts and crevices. From this basin rise countless reddish-brown rock formations, shaped like ancient temples huddled closely together. The mountains here boast peculiar forms, with remarkably uniform and majestic striations. Water, wind, and time have sculpted its surface into layers of rock, creating a geological marvel unlike any other. Researchers estimate that the Grand Canyon is nearly 2 million years old. Within this extraordinary landscape, explorers are said to have discovered a network of tunnels and chambers, specifically in the Marble Canyon area. One of these is believed to contain artifacts and relics tied to the ancient Egyptian civilization. These caves were described as vast and intricately complex. Archaeologists reportedly found rooms designed for habitation and even ceremonial gatherings. The layout of these chambers bore a striking resemblance to the ancient temples and tombs of Egypt. All of this raises questions about their true origins, as vast geographical distances posed immense barriers in ancient times. It's hard to imagine a civilization thriving in such disparate locations across the globe. More specifically, these accounts point to a cave system known as the Kincaid Caverns, named after the leader of the scientific team that discovered them, G.E. Kincaid. Kincaid and his team navigated the Colorado River by boat, entering the Grand Canyon, a region rich in minerals and rare precious metals like gold and silver. Kincaid sought to test what he and his team could uncover before the area was restricted by the government. He discovered a series of intricately designed chambers, blanketed in desert dust accumulated over millennia. He followed meticulously carved steps leading to an entrance within the cave, clearly crafted by human hands. Kincaid stepped inside, and something astonishing happened. Under the beam of his flashlight, the walls revealed rows of hieroglyphs, possibly Egyptian, before the astonished explorers. The rooms mirrored the burial chambers of ancient pharaohs, yet this was only the beginning. Kincaid pressed deeper with his team, uncovering a massive complex estimated to house around 50,000 people. This was truly a groundbreaking discovery. Alongside the hieroglyphs statues adorned with paintings evoked scenes of daily life along the Nile River. The artifacts Kincaid found were described as vivid and exquisitely detailed. The cave even contained a dedicated area for metalworking. According to Kincaid, if this complex truly dated back to ancient times, the technological prowess of those people far exceeded what was thought possible. Even more astonishing, Kincaid discovered a chamber holding dozens of meticulously preserved mummies, akin to those found in modern Egypt. The presence of these mummies and the embalming techniques of Nile Valley inhabitants led Kincaid to realize that unraveling these mysteries would require far greater assistance. If the chambers discovered in the Grand Canyon are indeed linked to Egyptian civilization, they could shed light on the daily lives, culture, and economic activities of ancient peoples. One of the most striking artifacts from this exploration was a collection of statues resembling Egyptian gods and pharaohs. Their presence suggesting more than just a fleeting encounter between two cultures. Indeed, ancient Egyptian culture may have once thrived here in the distant past. Yet, the authenticity of these artifacts remains a heated topic of debate to this day. Kincaid sent his notes and findings to the Smithsonian, the most renowned historical institute in America. Clearly, within the grand narrative of a vanished Egyptian civilization, these artifacts serve as the most tangible link between modern humanity and the past. Perhaps from these relics, we'll unlock secrets long sealed away by time. Sensational reports about the Grand Canyon caves quickly captured the attention of researchers. Smithsonian scientists swiftly arrived to uncover the truth. Kincaid and the team of scientists discovered something unbelievable. Ancient peoples had constructed a nearly perfectly symmetrical cave structure. All the tunnels and caves led to a central chamber. In that room, they found a large statue resembling a Buddha from Eastern cultures. The exploration team hypothesized that a civilization from the other side of the world might have emerged and flourished in the Grand Canyon in ancient times. Highly educated and exceptionally skilled individuals from Asia may have somehow reached North America in the distant past. You see, modern humans call the Americas the New World, assuming it was isolated and only recently discovered in the last few centuries. Could the ancient Egyptians have discovered America before Columbus? In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, numerous reports emerged of mummies resembling those from Egypt being found in America, such as in the Mississippi Valley. However, these discoveries were often incomplete, lost, or even destroyed, making verification exceedingly difficult. The notion that ancient Egyptians crossed treacherous oceans to reach America thousands of years ago is a hypothesis that could upend established historical values. Such seemingly impossible feats remain entirely plausible, given that ancient Egypt built marvels like the pyramids, far beyond the imagination of modern humans. Yet, the Smithsonian, the beacon of global scientific and historical research, later provided no evidence or official statement about this astonishing discovery. Thus, the Grand Canyon story has sparked a flood of rampant speculation. Is the Smithsonian complicit in concealing a mystery that could forever change humanity? Could there be truths about our past that must remain dormant, never to be awakened? As oral legends of a civilization once thriving in the Grand Canyon spread, so too do the controversies surrounding them. The Grand Canyon is more than just a breathtaking landscape bestowed by nature. It's a symbol of a hidden chapter in history. Since its founding, the Smithsonian has been a guiding light in American archaeology. With its scientists leading numerous expeditions, unearthing countless artifacts and knowledge buried by time. Surprisingly, however, The Smithsonian promptly denied any involvement with these mysteries following Kincaid's expedition. But this clearly couldn't quell the public's suspicions. Why would a pioneer of archaeology overlook such a monumental discovery? What mystery lies behind the Smithsonian's silence? Could the artifacts Kincaid uncovered be hidden away in the museum's vaults? Contact between ancient civilizations across oceans isn't an impossible notion. What if the ancient Egyptians were aided by friends from another planet? Perhaps this theory makes everything more comprehensible. The Egyptians might have reached the Grand Canyon, leaving traces that even time cannot erase. Hieroglyphic texts found across various cultures indeed hint at evidence of voyages to distant lands. The Vikings' arrival in America before Columbus proves that what we often hear in historical accounts may not always reflect reality. There's also evidence that Chinese explorers reached America centuries before the Vikings, though reaching the Grand Canyon is an entirely different tale. How could ancient peoples possess advanced technology to excavate millions of tons of rock and build an underground city? The Hopi, a Native American group living in states like New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado, are renowned for their eerily accurate prophecies about the world's future. They've passed down a fascinating legend about ant-like beings. According to them, these were creatures smaller than humans, with large insect-like eyes. When a great flood engulfed every civilization on Earth, a brilliant star suddenly appeared in the sky. These ant people led the Hopi to caves beneath the Grand Canyon. Most ancient civilizations have flood myths describing a global catastrophe as sea levels rose. Civilizations that once thrived on Earth were swallowed up, yet these legends share a common thread. Those who emerged after the devastating flood were chosen by the divine, perhaps the ones who sheltered in the Grand Canyon's caves. The ancient Egyptians used the Nile River as a convenient trade route. They expertly navigated the Nile's currents, though their oceanic voyages remain a subject of much debate. Beyond river navigation, the ancient Egyptians built ships capable of long sea journeys. The Egyptian expedition to the land of Punt during Queen Hatshepsut's reign remains a captivating and mysterious journey that humanity has yet to fully decipher. According to Ancient Origins magazine, all valuable trade goods originated from Punt. A significant trade expedition launched by Egypt's Queen Hatshepsut returned with not only incense and live plants, but also gold, leopard skins, and even live elephants. Large-scale expeditions frequently carried Egyptian goods like tools and jewelry to Punt, returning with luxurious, precious items. Yet, to this day, scholars have not pinpointed the exact location of this kingdom, as the pharaohs kept it a closely guarded secret. Punt was once associated with modern-day Somalia, but a compelling argument now suggests it lay in southern Sudan or Eritrea, where the flora and fauna described in carvings, paintings, and written records are found. Most scholars today believe Punt was located southeast of Egypt, likely along the coastal regions now encompassing Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, northeastern Ethiopia, and Sudan's Red Sea coast. However, some scholars note that ancient inscriptions suggest Punt was on the Arabian Peninsula, possibly spanning both the Horn of Africa and southern Arabia as we know it today. After the New Kingdom era ended, Punt became a mythical, fantastical land in legends and lore. Yet, many believe that the Punt sought by both ancient and modern humans is none other than the Grand Canyon of today. Supporters of this theory have identified similarities in artistic styles, architecture, and religious practices between the lands of ancient Egypt and Native American cultures, despite vast geographical separation. While many scientists argue this is merely cultural evolution, rather than direct contact, advances in genetic science may one day help modern humans better understand ancient migrations. However, as of now, no genetic evidence supports the hypothesis of an Egyptian presence in the Americas before Columbus. Yet, despite scientific evidence, theories of transoceanic contact continue to captivate widespread attention. Do you recognize what this is? These are hieroglyphs, but they weren't found in Egyptian pharaohs' tombs. They were discovered in Australia. The Gosford glyphs, also known as the Karyong hieroglyphs, are a collection of about 300 Egyptian-style carvings located in Karyong, Australia. They were found in an area famous for Aboriginal rock art between Gosford and Cooloong, New South Wales, within Brisbane Water National Park. These strange symbols, echoing ancient Egyptian civilization, are etched deeply into two large sandstone slabs. They endure despite the weathering of time. The truth is the same, though buried under layers of time's dust. One day, we'll uncover all the mysteries of the primal universe. For decades, locals along the central coast of New South Wales have debated the authenticity of this evidence. Many believe these distinctive carvings originated from ancient Egypt. Brave explorers climbed the narrow gap between the two sandstone faces, entering a tight passage to examine the hieroglyphs. The symbols appear strikingly familiar to anyone knowledgeable about ancient Egypt. They include depictions of the god Anubis, the name of King Khufu enclosed in a cartouche as per tradition, and many other symbols, depicting boats, chickens, dogs, owls, humans, and what seem to be names of kings, including Khufu. Did ancient Egyptians truly travel to this continent and leave their mark here? Or is this merely a decades-long hoax? To address whether ancient Egyptians ever set foot in Australia, Egyptologists have studied these carvings. They concluded it's a hoax, citing numerous inconsistencies and errors in the glyphs. Yet, this hasn't stopped many locals from maintaining their belief in their authenticity. Others suggest they could be the work of a local resident or a reflection of the Egyptology craze that swept the world after Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered. Egyptologist Boyo Akinga from Macquarie University also dismissed the claim that these carvings could be the work of shipwrecked Egyptians from millennia ago, noting their disorganized and illogical arrangement. This suggests someone or a group may have carved these hieroglyphs drawing from different periods of Egyptian history. As quoted in an ABC article, Dr. Akinga believes these carvings likely date to a more recent period in Australian history. He suggests they were probably created in the 1920s, during a surge of interest in ancient Egypt following the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Throughout human history, many civilizations have used glyph-like writing, but only Egyptian script is truly considered hieroglyphic. We don't know exactly when hieroglyphs were developed, but they date back to ancient times. The idea of a hieroglyphic writing system may have been introduced to Egypt, possibly stemming from Sumerian cuneiform, though this remains heavily debated. The oldest evidence of proto-hieroglyphs dates back to around 3500 BC. The first full sentence in true hieroglyphs dates to between 2800 and 2700 BC. Both were found in tombs, with drawings on burial jars from the Naqada II period and reliefs from First Dynasty tombs. Though debate persists, the theory of transoceanic contact in ancient times still garners significant support. Many believe modern-day Australia could be the location of the fabled wealthy land of Punt from ancient lore. If true, this would force modern humans to rethink the capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. Perhaps they were far more advanced than we are today. Though time flows silently, marking truths hidden deep within the Grand Canyon beyond modern comprehension, many have claimed they've truly discovered a mysterious civilization here. This is Jerry Wills and his wife Kathy, tireless researchers of Kincaid's Grand Canyon discoveries. They've studied the mystery of the Kincaid caves for years. Uncovering a piece of the past buried under thousands of years is no easy feat. Their approach involves locating the original explorer's starting point, which would lead them to the cave brimming with the secrets of an advanced civilization. After years of research and exploration in the area Kincaid described, Jerry and his team claim they've found the cave. The couple discovered a site covered with artifacts from antiquity. On the canyon wall at the edge of this area, they believe they've identified the entrance to an underground city. However, exploration is challenging, as the entire region believed to house the cave is now designated a restricted zone by the federal government. About 1,000 caves have been discovered in the Grand Canyon, many man-made, but only around 30 have been mapped. Many of these caves have been sealed off for safety reasons. Curiosity has fueled human courage. Many are willing to take risks, signing waivers accepting full responsibility for any dire outcomes, absolving the government of liability. But the authorities clearly don't permit this. Unauthorized exploration of a canyon like the Grand Canyon is far too dangerous. The question arises, is the U.S. government genuinely concerned for explorers' safety, or are they hiding mysteries that could forever alter human civilization? Some other caves in the Grand Canyon have been blocked by steel gates, as if sealing away a secret. Despite federal obstacles, some remain willing to risk fines or imprisonment to rediscover this lost city. As Jerry and Kathy's team attempted to explore the area, an unmarked plane appeared out of nowhere, flying overhead. They were clearly being watched, despite that section of the Grand Canyon being a no-fly zone. In fact, no aircraft are allowed below the rim. Jerry believes this was a warning to halt their expedition. Exploring the caves from above is nearly impossible. But what about from below, as Kincaid did? Another group of explorers tried just that. But as they neared the site, a black helicopter appeared. Not a tourist or civilian craft, but something more ominous. If you're a military hardware enthusiast, you'd recognize it as an Apache attack helicopter. Later, as this group explored the upper area for ventilation shafts Kincaid had noted, they believed these could lead downward. They found massive concrete blocks scattered randomly in the wilderness. Some of these were platforms near the rim's edge, with steel anchor rings used to assist climbers descending the cliffs. When questioned, authorities claimed these were merely reinforcements to prevent rockfalls. Moreover, within this restricted zone, the rocks bore hieroglyphs referencing grand structures directly tied to ancient Egyptian culture. Surely, no mere coincidence could span oceans under the limited travel conditions of the past. David Hatcher Childress, a renowned author of 20 books, often explores ancient mysteries. He believes the U.S. government is actively suppressing archaeological discoveries. He notes that while Raiders of the Lost Ark is fictional, its final scene of artifact warehouses is closer to reality. He argues that the Smithsonian, an independent federal agency, is concealing some of the most significant finds made in the Americas. He claims this cover-up began in 1881 with famed geologist John Wesley Powell. Powell appointed Cyrus Thomas as director of the Smithsonian's Eastern Mound Division within the Bureau of Ethnology. Thomas joined the Smithsonian believing a distinct race with unique construction methods had reached the Americas before the native tribes we know. This school of thought is known as diffusionism. Diffusionism posits that throughout history, there was widespread cultural and civilizational exchange, even across vast distances, including oceans. However, the Smithsonian took the opposite stance, promoting isolationism, asserting that most civilizations were isolated with little contact, especially when separated by large bodies of water, like oceans. It's claimed that advanced populous civilizations in the Ohio and Mississippi valleys were rare and had no ties to other advanced cultures like the Afghan, Toltec, or Maya. But the Mississippi River flows from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico, making the idea of their isolation laughable. Examination of ancient mounds in the American Midwest reveals the existence of a complex culture. These cities were larger than European cities of that era. They also uncovered tombs of extraordinarily tall individuals, sometimes reaching 7 or 8 feet. When the Spiro mounds were excavated in the 1930s, skeletons measuring 7 to 8 feet were found. At a time when the average male height was 5 to 6 feet, these were veritable giants. Sadly, those skeletons have since been lost. In 1892, during a geological survey in Alabama, Frank Burns discovered stone coffins about 7.5 meters long. These coffins appeared to have been hollowed out with fire and chiseled with metal tools. These findings were sent to the Smithsonian in 1894, but the Smithsonian denied their existence. Their response was, "We cannot locate the specimens in our collection, despite records showing they were received." How could massive stone coffins weighing several tons vanish so easily? 8 years later, the Smithsonian claimed they'd found the coffins, but they were stored in an asbestos-contaminated warehouse, inaccessible to anyone. During World War II, a blimp construction crew in Alaska unearthed a mound containing gigantic human remains. The skeletons were said to be double, even triple, the size of an average person. This report was corroborated by multiple sources. The Smithsonian collected these finds, and that was the last anyone heard of them. Such stories span from Alaska to Mexico City. There seems to be a pattern with the tales we've explored about the Grand Canyon. An incredible discovery is made. The Smithsonian steps in, and then all evidence vanishes as quickly as bubbles after rain. Perhaps these are secrets so perilous they could literally upend the future of humanity. It seems the US government may indeed have proof that an advanced race existed in North America long before the native tribes arrived. For whatever reason, this is evidence they don't wish to disclose. Mainstream science might dismiss this as nonsense, but the Hopi and other Grand Canyon tribes believe it. The Hopi recount that when the first people emerged from the Grand Canyon, they sent a messenger to the Temple of the Sun to pray for peace. That messenger has yet to return, but even today in Hopi villages, at sunset, elders can be seen on rooftops gazing toward the setting sun, awaiting his return. When he returns, the ancient land will be restored to the first people. And all this evidence seems to have been quietly buried by the American government. Do you believe an advanced ancient civilization existed in the Grand Canyon thousands of years ago? Were they our ancestors, or perhaps a mysterious species like reptilians? Are all of G.E. Kincaid's stories rooted in reality, or merely the vivid imagination of a struggling newspaper editor? The temple-like mountains, castles, and fortresses, millions of years old, shrouded in the mists of the Grand Canyon, will likely remain a topic of discussion for years to come, until the truth is brought to light. Hope to see you in our next exploration video. For now, goodbye and until next time. Wishing you and your family a wonderful day.